over here, he is Kang,
I
also known as. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I am the bear. If in case you
He
didn't
is the
know.
bear. He is.
Uh, what's happening?
And what is happening indeed? This is our 6th pod. That last one with our T's was quite chaotic, and it was pretty good, but we need a nice little cleanser before having our next guest on.
Oh yeah, especially once we're finally getting all our stuff together. We got that good shit. I got some free space on my thing for us to record, so we good. We solid, y'all.
Yeah. Well, it's been kind of a while, so we don't have music roulette queued up yet. But unless you did listen to that song I sent you today.
Let's see, because I know I've been getting a couple of music recommendations.
No problem. And I think you might have sent one to me, and we could just do that just off cuff, you know?
Oh yeah.
I believe I'm gonna look while you're looking. Let's see.
Ah yes, Crimson Rider. I didn't get to listen to that one.
No problem.
I did, however, listen to Arrival from The Alchemist.
Ooh. What'd you think?
I thought it was nice, honestly.
Oh yeah.
I'm really hoping, for I know you want to be like that in the background for the trailer because I like that song. I'm just like, YouTube, please don't beat my ass. I want this to be good.
I know. But what'd you think? What'd you think of the instrumentation and the rhythm of that one?
It was very smooth, surprisingly. Well, not surprisingly. You usually send me a lot of good smooth tracks and everything.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, you know what? This kind of has what's the word I'm looking for? Almost, well, pretty much. I guess the best way to put it, because battle words, indie beat to it, and everything, and pretty smooth indie beat to it, where it's just like it's not trying to be too much while still adding a little funk to it. So I'm just like,
oh yeah.
I like it a lot.
Yeah, I just kind of stumbled upon it going through random recommendations, one of those daily things.
Oh yeah.
That popped up, and then I just after I listened to the track, I clicked on his album, and apparently that one's called I think it's called Israel Salad or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Which you can definitely tell by the cover. He's kneeling down, and I mean he's he's basically hunched over, like you would do for a prayer. Yeah, Israel Salad. Yeah, and that was that album. He actually used a lot of different chants and prayers from, I guess, his religion and whatnot.
Whoa.
Kind of in that flow. If you listen to the rest of it, you can definitely hear some of that in there.
Nice.
It's a really interesting piece. I will say I like most of the album. Some of it can get kind of but it happens from time to time whenever you listen to an album. You can't 100% of something.
Well, yeah. And the time when you do find that album that's just that good, where every song is just beat after beat after beat, it's like, yo, this is going to the collection, the gold standard.
Yeah, just like Igor.
Exactly.
For I guess the audience at home, basically Igor, I really love that album, and I was going through kind of a deep down kind of depression after I was in a relationship that didn't go really much anywhere. And his sadness helped my sadness. So anytime I'm feeling really down, I gotta listen to that.
But Nook, you always listen to Igor.
Hey, I only listen to Igor when I'm sad.
Exactly, you listen to Igor every day.
Yeah, I'm gonna have an artist remake that comic too. I love that. But you actually sent me one as well. Let's see. I have it here. I believe it's because we were talking about nerdcore rap, and I told you I'm not too much into it.
Mm-hmm.
But you sent me something. Here it is. It's called Fly Nimbus Funk, and
Yeah.
it was good, nice and smooth. Way more funkier than I thought it was gonna be, and I
Oh
do like
yeah.
funk.
Oh yeah. That's why I knew you'd appreciate that because trust me, I know like a lot of nerdcore like rap and music can kind of just be not everybody's niche. But I'm like, listen, if you listen to this, that'll just let you know what type of nerdcore rap or music you want to listen to. And that's one of them.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's really good. Like I do like the instrumentation, and I like their voices on it. The Game Boy Jones and who's the other guy? Samed Savage. Okay.
Oh yeah.
They know how to play that funk and do their voices. It's really good.
Exactly.
Flying Nimbus Funk.
Fly away with me, fly away from me, fly away with me. That's my shit, bro.
Tell me about that. Tell me about their artist. Are they all their tracks kind of like that, or tell me about it?
They're kind of a mixed bag at times. Like one moment will be like a little bit of funk, some of it'll be like a little like techno, but with like the right tone and everything. Like they also had like pretty much Game Boy Jones. He also had like a song that was like a cyberpunk Edge Runners rap. And I'm not gonna lie, that shit kind of go hard. Like you don't even have to play the game. You just gotta like you don't even gotta really listen to the. You don't really have to know the game or the anime. Since you just listen to it, it's just like, damn, this shit's hardcore as fuck. Hello, I want to rob a bank. But
Nice,
it's but
nice,
it's
nice.
but it's really good. And honestly, he's probably one of the few like anime rappers that I could just say, this guy gets it. Especially when I was actually introduced by him from Dappers and everything. Shout out to my
Mm,
homie, and
mm-hmm.
he's he's just pretty much been putting me down that rabbit hole of like anime rap. And I'm like, damn, I'm kind of into this stuff. Like this guy, one guy named Daddy Snapbacks, who was basically like the music that I use, whose music I used or remix that I used for like the Hotep Rangers opening, and yeah, it was all good. Well, opening and outro. So yeah, it's good
Very
stuff.
nice, very nice.
Mm-hmm.
He sent me something like that as well. I will say I really like the music, but I wasn't a big fan of the lyrics.
Oh
Mostly
yeah.
just Mostly just because that's kind of the issue I kind of have with nerdcore-esque. I'm not saying this is nerdcore, but kind of that genre.
Mm-hmm.
Where this one's called Just Like Pop Music. It's by Yanka Igor, which it's got a nice like synth pop city pop beat. That's what I mean, city pop.
Mm-hmm.
But the lyrics are kind of mostly because he talks about meeting somebody in D&D and listening and talking to them on Discord. I'm like, kind of don't know why that just kind of takes me out.
Damn.
I don't know. Sometimes I guess what I'm trying to say, sometimes it's a little too self-referential,
Mm-hmm. Oh
or
yeah.
like it references like too many things. I'm just like, well, tone that down, tone that down.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no,
But
that's low key kind of the problem with it, I guess. It,
yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I was just gonna say, like, it literally is just like a lot of it is heavily influenced on, like, the whole aspect of, you just have to you just have to, like, know the thing they're talking about, whether it's a video game or anime. Like, it's like, a lot of them just, like, work off, like, the wordplay of, like, hey, insert reference here of said thing
Hmm.
and all that stuff. And I'm just like, I guess some of it, but, like, it's just not it, bro. It's just not hitting it for me. I guess that's
Yeah,
just why maybe that's just why I really like the Flying Nimbus Funk version, because it's just like, I know Dragon Ball, but even I can tell you it's like just has a better flow to it and everything, It's just fly
yeah,
away with me, man. It's pretty simple, straight to the point. A couple of references here and there, but it's still good,
nice, nice. All right. Well, that was our quote unquote kind of improv version of
man.
musical roulette,
we'll
which
have
is fun.
more we'll have more current ones that we'll have, better elaborations on.
Yeah. we've been kind of busy throughout these months trying to get things back in order. So
Oh yeah.
We're kind of here and there right now.
Honestly, especially at this time.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But let's move on. I actually I told you about a comic a while back called The Wrong Earth.
Ah yes, the goat, wrong Earth.
Did you manage to get volume 2 yet?
I literally ordered it last week, and when it was supposed to come in this week, it was saying, "Oh hey, your package was delayed. Hopefully you get it on Saturday, and if not, you could get your money back."
Uh,
I've been running into that issue a lot ever since moving, so I don't know what the deal is. That,
that sucks.
that literally
Okay.
happened with my Fist of the North Star volume, and I'm just like, what the fuck?
Did you try delivering to like a hub or anything? Do you have Amazon Hub?
I don't have an Amazon hub. I literally just like, I kind of just do what I usually do, where it's just like, hey, I have the address updated, the card and all that stuff. I let them know delivered to this address, and it's simple as that. But moving back, I don't know if it's because they're still getting used to me
Nah, I
changing
feel yeah.
addresses or something.
Yeah. That reminds me. Speaking of addresses, I was ordering my Galgura Android,
Mm-hmm.
and like I accidentally didn't get the first pre-orders, but it sold out so freaking much. They decided to make a second pre-order, and I managed to snag one. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I snagged one. Tell you the truth, I accidentally snagged a second one by mistake, and I got it refunded to me. Because it was just like, I was just like, oh shit, because I think I pressed refresh on the order or whatever. It's like, oh, you wanted 2. I'm like, no, I just want the 1. No, I'm not made of that much money. So then I noticed like later on, like, because it was expected to show up in like October,
Mm-hmm.
and no, October didn't come around because October never came around. Mostly just because it's a pre-order fig from Japan, so import shit and whatnot. Whoever knows, never shows up.
Mm-hmm.
So I checked my account and it's like, hey, you've been refunded like $70 to $60. I was like, oh shit, what the fuck is that? And I checked the name. It was like, oh, it's Good Smile. I'm like, motherfucks, what the hell happened? So I ended up calling them and calling the customer service. She's like, oh yeah, apparently the address is wrong. I'm like, how can it be wrong? That's my address. So then she's like, yeah, sorry about that. I mean, there's still plenty left over. I'm like, okay. What if I bought one now while you're on the phone? She's like, okay, we could do that, and then I'll just tell the order to go ahead and just send it there, and that it's the correct address.
Wow.
So she at least helped me get the hookup so I could get it, like, reordered. And she said the funny thing is, if I stayed with the pre-order, I might have got it like a month later, versus doing the versus doing the purchase and getting it within like 2 weeks. So kind of like a halfway blessing in disguise, but I was still kind of like, what the fuck?
Wow.
I was afraid I was gonna lose out.
Man.
Yeah. But I guess back to the comic. Side
Mhm.
tangent and all.
Nah, you
So, no problem. The Wrong Earth. It's basically the premise of what if, I'd say 80s to 90s style Batman. He's vindictive, he's kind of dark,
Mm-hmm.
he's willing to kill people. What if him in the Adam West 1960s kooky, campy, kind of lighter side, what if they ended up accidentally switching Earths? And that's the premise of this comic.
And honestly, I love it. Because, here's the thing. I've seen, I guess the one thing I do like about this series is that, it takes advantage of, the characters kind of being on different Earths. It's like, oh man, dark, gritty guy is going to be praised as a hero, and he's going to love it and probably change his ways. Meanwhile, Goody Two Shoes hero is going to get corrupted by the city. And he's going to realize, oh man, not everything's all black and white as it should be. But they kind of they kind of play unique stories with it. I guess they know how to like write these characters in a way where it's just like they adapt. They're not just stuck in their old ways. They adapt. They know that these things affect them, and they know how to play the game here while still being themselves. And I kind of like that, you know?
Yeah, I like that too, and I like the way that it's kind of a future shock to, I guess, 80s, 90s. He's called, the hero is called the Dragonfly, and the 60s version is called Dragonfly Man.
Yeah.
That is the difference.
And it's just
And
so funny, you know?
it is. Dragonfly, he is not used to being praised at all since he's gone down this dark path. His world absolutely hates him. They want to kill him. They want to shoot him. No matter what, because he's gone so brutal down that pathway.
Exactly.
And he gets thrown into a world where they actually love him, and they don't even. And the funny thing is that the two universes, they don't even realize that they're different people.
Right. Like they just look at them and they see the same person, which realistically, yeah, they are the same person, but they're just two different people at the end of the day. And I guess just what throws me off is that I guess it's kind of what like throws me off is the fact that one universe is darker than the other and one is just lighthearted and fun, but with the characters, kind of switching worlds, they kind of like have the people in their world kind of like see things from a different perspective, and even
Mm-hmm.
they take advantage of it. Like
Mm-hmm.
what was that character? That Harley Quinn-esque character, I forgot her name, but like
Mm-hmm.
with the dragonfly and everything, it's like she does care. She does care for like the Robin S character and all that stuff and everybody else because she doesn't want to see people actually get hurt or killed or anything like that. She's just out here like I'll commit petty crimes and doing goofy stuff. That's all. But then Dragonfly's like, yeah, but you could do more than that. You know that, right? And I'm just like, oh shit, he's working with her, corrupting her and everything. And even Dragonfly Man in the other world, he's like kind of understanding how things work there. So he's just like, you know what? Yeah, I'll pay off the police. Kind of the greater good type of thing. And I
Mm-hmm.
like that. So he has to be a little morally gray and make exceptions for the greater good. And that's just interesting to see. And I really want to see where that goes from there. Because just,
Oh,
it's insane. And I,
oh,
I'm ready
I'll
for
say,
more.
it gets interesting in Volume 2. That's why I'm like, I don't want to spoil too much for you, and I don't want to say anything, but it gets a lot crazier, if you could believe it.
Oh no, I believe it, and I'm ready for it. Like
Oh,
yesterday.
yeah. No, that's gonna be Saturday. It's gonna be Saturday,
Damn.
apparently.
Yeah,
Or
we'll
you can get
see.
your money back.
Yeah, and if not, I'll just go to my local bookstore, order it again. We shall see.
Oh, you're in it from a store, not Amazon?
I know I ordered it from Amazon, but sometimes it's like if it takes forever, kind of like my volume 4 of Fist of the North Star that I ordered and everything, and it's just like, oh yeah, well we'll send your money in if it doesn't come in on Saturday, and it's been a month and a half since then, and I got my money back thankfully, but that book never came in, so I was like, I'll just get it at the bookstore, whatever.
Yeah. Sometimes that's the advantages of having a bookstore. They're able
Hmm.
to order your stuff, you don't have to go through the rigmarole of having to deal with just third parties.
Exactly. Because that's just never happened, or at least it has happened. I just never, because I used to order a lot of stuff as a kid and everything from like when I was like 15 and up, trying to order stuff
Hmm.
for like Amazon and everything, and I was like, oh yeah, I definitely want to like indulge in some things like books, comics, and whatever. But like that never happened where it was just like, oh yeah, the order came in late or just not in at all, and I was like, excuse me, like
Nah,
hell.
I feel you. I feel you. Now Amazons have kind of changed to. Heck, I even had like Prime for a little bit,
Hmm.
and they changed from being like 2-day orders, and now it's like only eligible, but realistically everything's like a week or 2 weeks. Enough to order to get stuff delivered to you.
Man,
And I'm just like, man, I wish I had a store nearby. That way I could actually order this stuff instead of having to go through Amazon to get this shit.
God, the
Yeah,
fuck, Jeff Bezos,
exactly.
man.
But I guess back on another Earth.
Yeah.
I do like how I yeah, I agree. Like I like how they're kind of even though they changed the world, their perspective is basically the same.
Hmm.
But it at least shows kind of like it'll show in the next volume how much they kind of change on the inside. Like
Oh yeah.
I don't want to give too much, but I'll give a little bit. Like basically, whether they want to admit it or not,
Hmm.
the worlds are kind of changing them slightly. They're
Yes.
their little insides are kind of being changed, but
Hmm.
not too like majorly.
Oh yeah.
Like they still got their principles, but they've kind of lived in these worlds for a while, so they're kind of used to how things work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
But go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
Go ahead.
I, I was gonna say like I also just like the fact that that yeah, it really does show like how they're like changing the world around them, how they're changing themselves, with that world. And I guess one thing I also got to bring up is just how there's a lot of there's a lot of really good satire with that comic, and it's not
Hmm.
even just like with them. It's also kind of like, especially in like like the Dragonflies, Dragonfly Man's world, where it's just like because I remember reading the first volume, they had some extra comics and everything, kind of just showing, hey yo, these rich people are exploiting like the working class and everything, and and it's like, oh man, you mean to tell me the main bad guy is like just a working class guy who just wants a fair wage and living life, and Dragonfly's like, ha ha ha, you silly criminal, you off to jail you go. The rich people are fine here.
Yeah. Yeah. They have like I do like some of the mini comics in the back too.
No, yeah. It's like I love that, and I also love how like broken Dragonfly Man is, where he's just like, I have an explanation for every perceivable outcome. You thought you shot me? Well, you see, I put on this anti-bullet repellent after taking a pill, and then afterwards, I would pretty much assume that you would kill me. And even though none of that shit happened in the comic that you read, to his perspective, that's exactly what he expected. Therefore, he got out of that. Man could get shot in the head, and he'll have a big old explanation for that. And I'm just like, I love this. I love
Oh
this
yeah.
so much.
Yeah, I love that he's trying to save. It's been a while. What is the sidekick? The Robin. It's called Sting, right?
Things like Stinger, yeah.
Yeah, Stinger. Uh, 60s Dragonfly Man. He's trying to save this little guy this guy who kind of turned him into a gang because he thought he would be able to get like some money.
Hmm.
He was actually, but they ended up using him as bait instead. He ends up saving the kid out of this building that explodes, and he's like, "How the hell did we survive that?" He's like, "Well, you see, before we went inside there, I was expecting them to use explosives, so I went ahead and sprayed myself with anti-explosion spray."
This is perfect. I love that. Oh,
And then like and then in the 60s world, like they're kind of gullible, and they're able to believe whatever the dragonfly says. So he accidentally goes up and he accidentally kills one of the villains, and they're like, "Did you just kill him?" And he's like, "No, I totally did not kill him. I shot him and he got knocked out."
And that's exactly what happened. And he's just like, what?
And they're like, "Oh, okay, that makes sense. Because we know you would never kill anybody."
It's like, yeah, would never kill anybody.
Yeah.
I shift.
But one of the gripping things, in the '90s world, yeah, we'll just call it the '90s and '60s.
Yeah.
In the '90s world, apparently that Stinger, he apparently committed suicide.
Yeah, that's
And
awful.
Dragonfly Man, wonders why Stinger's not around, and he goes up to his room, and he finds like a shrine of like him, and he hears that he committed suicide. And then that's actually echoed, and I think that's also echoed in a later issue, but I don't know if you got that. I think that's in the next volume where they kind of talk about that.
Definitely got when I finally get my comic, I'll definitely look into that. But like, no, that definitely was like something that threw me off. It also kind of just made like put into perspective like how dark and actually gritty this world is, because you got this dragonfly man, or this dragonfly, or like the dragonfly who's like in the '90s world and everything, who's literally just like dark, edgy, angst, don't trust the cops, don't trust the rich type guy. And then when you introduce this plucky, over the top, like traditional superhero and everything, and he's just like, well, the cops do this, oh, the rich be like this, what, why are these people trying to attack me, aren't I a hero? And it's just like, and I guess we'll like really put all that into perspective when he went like in disguise pretending to be like a villain and everything, or like pretend to be like a bad guy or goon or whatever, and he went into a bar kind of lamenting at the fact that this just isn't my home, and I just don't know if I belong here or anywhere right now. I was just like, damn.
No.
That shit cut. That shit cut deep.
Oh yeah, you can definitely tell that there's a little bit of satire, because quote unquote, well, not quote unquote, but this is the Dragonfly from the '80s, '90s. He's kind of a play on Frank Miller's like Dark Knight Returns kind of Batman. That kind of Batman didn't go off that much of a deep end, but you could see him maybe doing that if under different circumstances, like because that Batman, instead of like deciding to say F it and not hold his punches and kill people, he actually retired instead.
Exactly. He was just on some like genuine angst shit, like Dark Knight and everything, or Dark Knight Returns Batman, who's just like, I'm old, I'm getting slow, I need to, I'm tired of like trying to keep up with these young folks. I got to bend them to my will, and that's essentially just what he did, and how he pretty much came off as a guy and everything, or at least came off as like a character, and that's very much reflected with the Dragonfly, who is literally just like off the deep end. He's experienced, he's tired, he's pretty much done playing by the rules. It's just like, I won't bend to society, so I'll make it bend for me, and that's just what he did.
Yeah, I would definitely say he is kind of like he's definitely like Batman if he didn't retire after Jason Todd's death,
Exactly.
If he actually kind of went on and it fed into his anger. No. But him being able to meet the Stinger of the 1960s world, like it was really interesting seeing him kind of dealing with the shot that he's actually still alive, and how kind of similar he is to his Stinger.
Oh yeah. It's like, he was just scared and like shocked and everything. So even though he's like obviously happy to see him, he's emotional, and he doesn't want a repeat of the same thing that happened to like the Stinger of his Earth and all that stuff. So it's just like, my man, you gotta go live your life as a kid, do kid things. I don't want you to get hurt again. It's like, what do you mean? It's like, I just don't want you to get hurt again, man. Get out.
And I do like it. I forget. Sorry, I don't want to keep blending in, but
No, you're good.
sometimes it was such a quick read, so it kind of feels like volume 1, volume 2, or sometimes the same book. But like at one point, one of the villains tries to hold him hostage, and he tries to hold Stinger hostage, and he literally threatens to kill him if he ever touches the boy again.
Oh yeah.
Like he is very protective of him.
Oh yeah. Genuinely cares about him, like literally like a son. And I'm glad it's really just a son because I was worried it was gonna get too edgy and angsty, where it was just gonna be like,
Yeah,
ah man, like what if he was like insert pedo Batman joke here meme or
I
whatever.
know.
And I was like, oh thank God, it's actually a good story, thank God.
And I also like to think, it's kind of like talking to a ghost. He feels like he's, he's, you know. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
that's basically the best analogy. It's like it kind of feels like he's talking to a ghost, if you will.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's good stuff.
Oh yeah.
Ah,
It goes to it goes to show the duality of like why Batman needs Robin.
exactly, which I feel like a lot of people are afraid to do, but I'll get into that rant another time.
Oh yeah. Hey, that's fine. I mean, well, we're doing this pod. If you want to go for it, dude, spit.
All right, so kind of just to keep things going, and not to
Yeah.
I guess pretty much talk about something else. Like,
Yeah.
why are so many live action Batman movies nowadays afraid to have a Robin, like genuinely, or afraid to give Batman a
I
Bat family? Period.
I think it's unfortunately it's probably due to rights, but also which is weird because DC owns all of them. But
Mm-hmm.
that's a whole another thing.
Oh
Most
yeah.
probably also because don't have to hire as many actors. But I could definitely see the stigmata that came with Batman Forever and Batman and Robin probably helped with that as well. They're like, oh, people are going to associate that with that again.
Yeah, that's true. This it's like mostly just seems like a lot of people are just like afraid to show Batman like, hey, he can have a sidekick and he can have like a person to help him fight crime that isn't just Catwoman or insert Superman, other superheroes here type
Hmm.
beat, and it's just like kind of just maybe make Gotham feel lived in again, like.
Yeah.
And just make it seem like it's more than just like Bruce trying to save the world, trying to save the city with its dark, edgy lifestyles. Like, sometimes Batman's a vibe. Sometimes Bruce kind of like has like something to play off of with his like banter, and it's like don't got to be like the '60s Adam West series or anything. It's just sometimes kind of just give Batman something to like look out for, give them kids like something to look forward to, because obviously he doesn't, have the best childhood or anything. He isn't always the best father, as it's shown from Dick, Jason, Tim on occasion, and Damien whenever he's written well or bad.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of just a mixed bag, and I feel like there's a lot of missed opportunity to show like Bruce's like father figure moments as well, which I feel like that's kind of thing we're always seeing like Batman in the beginning, but we only so rarely see Batman in his like mature phase. Which, say what you will about the Snyderverse, I will say they at least gave me like a mature Bruce Wayne, an experienced Bruce Wayne and all that stuff. So
Oh
it's
yeah.
like
Like,
I appreciate that.
oh yeah. I liked. Yeah. It's a contrary thing, but I really did like Snyder's portrayal of Batman. Even though I can agree that it kind of went a little too quick on some points, I will
Hmm.
say I still like that, and I would have wished we would have gotten more of that. It's like let's get more of that Gotham.
Hmm.
But I will say, Pattinson, he did a good job.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
if we had a world where we could have like both universes kind of coexisting in movie form, that'd be
Hmm.
cool. Unfortunately, we don't live in that world.
Yeah, and, I was really looking forward to something like that with Flashpoint, but
Uh,
man, Oh man,
Oh yeah.
man, that's something. But I ain't gonna get into that right now. I will say though, yeah, no, I agree because I also did like Zack Snyder's like Batman and everything, and like I said, guns and all that stuff aside, like I guess I kind of just like the gun, like Batman using a gun, but it was like the apocalypse Fallout thing for like that
Yeah.
suit and all that stuff. Like to me, that made sense when he was like kind of doing that shit in Batman v Superman, which I still have a slight soft spot for that movie. I will say sometimes I
Mhm.
was like, Bruce, you're like 6'4", you're built like a tank, and you obviously beat those men so brutally to the point where it's just like they're obviously not going to move or talk as you expect them to be. So it's just like why do you have a gun, bro? You're already a living weapon. It don't make sense.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I feel you. And
Hmm.
people want to argue like Batman doesn't. Batman, it's always saying that Batman doesn't kill and whatnot. But I kind of see that movie as a Batman that he's getting ready for war. So fewer sacrifices to take
Hmm.
out the bigger threat. So
Oh yeah.
it is unfortunate he did kill that. He probably most definitely killed that person in the car to get the kryptonite. But
Yeah.
but honestly, to be fair, and if the audience would use their critical brain, they were just bad guys.
Hmm.
I mean, they're people always complain about that all the time. I'm like, it's also just a movie. Like,
Hmm.
you can give him just a little bit of liberties. Hell, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, but you know how some Batman purists are.
Oh, I know. And then like hell, like I remember when Iron Man first came out. Iron Man, he gets his newest suit. He flies to not very distinctive non-Afghanistan.
Hmm.
And he decides to shoot. He decides to shoot like an explosive at a tank that's shooting at him. It's
Hmm.
like, oh, he just killed those guys. It's like, shouldn't that be like a bigger thing? Nobody bats an eye.
It's, I,
Then.
yeah, but like I guess for like people, it's like a lot of people just did not really know Iron Man like that, and even as a kid watching that, I was kind of like, oh yeah, I can see Iron Man doing that. Yeah, I can see Iron Man
Yeah.
doing that shit.
Yeah, I was taken aback. I was like, oh, okay. But then I was just like, huh, he just killed those people. Oh, okay.
And he just walks away, cool explosion
Yeah,
style.
exactly.
Oh yeah.
But, yeah, I kind of think, depending if we actually get a second The Batman,
Hmm.
hopefully we could develop more into that, because, as you can tell, The Batman, it kind of was like even though it was semi-origin-y, but it was
Hmm.
also kind of like a time skippy. It's like, we didn't see his entire bringing up and development. He was
Oh
already
yeah.
kind of established.
Hmm.
So maybe with the second one, they'll do another time skippy there.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll get something, but I will say at least him working with Catwoman and she not being like a thief or something that steals his shit and then, they make up and whatnot type of thing, and she's actually trying to help him and whatnot. It kind of feels like maybe they're going towards the Bat family, but
Yeah. Yeah. I guess it's just something we'll have to like see for ourselves. I will say though, for the Batman and everything, I guess I will give it credit where it's due. I do like that it decided to like it decided not to hold our hands as an audience. It's just like it's Batman. You know the story by now. You know what happened to the
hmm
parents. You know how he got here. Now let's get into what you actually came here for.
hmm
And I respect it for that. It's like I I'm starting to get to a point where it's like if it's a hero I actually don't know, I don't
hmm
need to see her origin story again. I don't need to see Uncle Ben get
yeah,
shot. I don't need to see Batman's parents. I don't need to see Krypton dying again.
hmm
I've been
hmm
down this route. I've been down this road before, and even like a baby firstborn can tell you what happened with Batman with just like his first sentence.
would it be better if we got to the action and then like later on in the movie he has like a post-traumatic like stress like episode, or like he's having like a flashback when in his sleep and he wakes up, like Superman or Batman. Would you think that would be better?
Oh hell yeah! Like honestly, that way it just like gives a glimpse of like what happened without like having to like retread the same story and taking forever to get to where we need to watch it, or what we're trying to be interested in.
No, I understand, and yeah, I think that would work too if we just had like a quick flashback or something.
Mm-hmm. So that's how I feel like. That's how I just feel like most superhero origin stories should be, unless it's like or like just not be an origin story. Just be like, hey, just flash back to that point. That way, we're just not like taking forever to get to the point and everything like that. So yeah.
But no, I feel you on the whole Born Batman family. I guess they're trying to have us rely on the television shows to do that versus movies,
Mm-hmm.
Which that's cool, but I do agree. I would want that in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if they were smart, what they would do is be like, they would have the television show kind of running, and then be like the theatrical movie connected to the movies,
Yeah, I don't know why some shows don't like try to do that. Sometimes it's like I know they sometimes do that with like TV shows and like movies in like Japan and stuff, where it's just like, oh hey, this popular anime or tokusatsu thing. Yeah, by the way, it's getting a movie. It's connected to the show. Say what? Yeah.
Theatrical.
It's like, whoa. Now they got a budget.
Exactly. I do have some envy with Toku sometimes. Like,
oh yeah.
I wish. Well, yeah. I mean, that aspect right there is definitely an envy for that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we can have a television show and then actually it have a movie. Kind of like it either has a mid-season movie or it has a final movie. For the ending.
Yeah.
Which I wish either. Hell, I know that there's the quote-unquote the tokusatsu Spider-Man, but
Mm-hmm.
other than references, we're probably never gonna go back. But I really wish we would have like a Marvel or a DC show over there. That'd be really interesting.
Honestly, yeah.
Like I have a couple ideas. One would be like, it'd be cool if like one of the more for people, they would actually turn into like DC or Marvel comic characters, and they would fight with them. That way, we could not only kind of like show who these characters are to a bigger audience, but it'd be kind of cool to be like, he can't actually like control. So it would be awesome if it was like, which would work would be like a Dial H like Tokusatsu.
Oh yeah.
Over there, yeah.
Honestly, I'd like to see that.
I think that'd be really cool. And like, and then what we could do is just like, hell, like, if we ever wanted to cross over with the English stuff, we could, have our guys show up in a movie with them,
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, we're having trouble, and then like, the big bad guy is like kicking ass, and it's like, we really need somebody, and then suddenly we hear like, dun da da dun da da, and then Henry Cavill shows up as Superman.
It's like, whoa.
Or something like that. or like they're needing help with something, so they like, or yeah, they like Batman, like they need help with detective work, or they call upon Oracle.
God, honestly, yeah, it'd be really good to see.
Either that, or what they could do is like, I know they have like Asian versions of. Well, I don't mean to say Asian versions, because they are Asian.
Oh yeah, they Japanese, yeah.
Yeah, Asian Marvel and DC characters, but I mean like, it'd be cool if they kind of use that kind of market to advertise them. It's like, hey, let's give these characters that barely have time over here. Why don't we advertise them heavily over there in Japan or whatever?
Exactly, give them some time to shine,
Yeah, it's like we had all these CW shows over here.
Mhm.
Could it really hurt? Could it really hurt if we had a tokusatsu over there that was like Cassie Kane? I don't remember. I think she's. I don't remember what nationality she is.
I'm trying to.
Lady Shiva, she's
Chinese.
okay. I mean, that could work.
It's a martial art. I mean, like honestly, you could just advertise like her as like a martial artist woman, so it's like it could fit. Like
No,
it's just like that's just one of her main appeals. She's just literally like a badass martial arts assassin. She fine, she pretty. She
hmm
would eat that shit up. I'm just saying.
oh yeah, and
Hmm.
and I do apologize. I can't remember any. I think the female Dr. Light's Japanese,
Oh yeah, and yeah, she
but
is, and you definitely could advertise her as well.
yeah, but I don't know. And I know that there's also. I know China. They do have the Chinese version of Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman over there in those.
Mhm.
I forget what there was like a mini series of those versions of having their own kind of comic universe for DC. I forgot what they're called though.
Yeah, there was what's her name? There was you could also like advertise. I know like they kind of did this already with like the X-Men anime, but there's like Armor from X-Men that
Oh
I
yeah,
feel like
yeah.
she was good. Plus she is canonically Japanese and all that stuff in the series. So like yeah,
Ooh, oh wait, I just thought about it. Katana.
yep, yeah.
Yeah, I think Katana. She would be perfect.
God, honestly, yeah.
Like, give her like a Toku-esque show.
Oh, she would kick ass with that. Honestly
Yeah,
though.
she would. Yeah. And dude, you could like, if you wanted to, you could totally like do the whole like, either young Katana or like seasoned Katana where her boyfriend is stuck in the sword, and we could
Hmm.
like lead to that. Oh
Exactly.
yeah,
Yes.
I think a Katana Toku would be pretty cool. Like they I don't know why they don't do that.
There's not much. It's not much of that, and I just feel like it. Katana's cool. She just doesn't get like the best rep as far as like other DC media and everything.
Yeah,
It's like, damn, honestly, all she has is like Brave and the Bold.
yeah, and she's like one of the old members of the Outsiders.
Exactly.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's like come on, put some respect on that character.
Honestly.
But yeah, that'd be kind of like my ideas would be like either have like a Dial H Toku over there, or like hell, take one of our like Japanese / Asian characters that we have in DC or Marvel and give them their own show over there. That'd be kind of cool.
Oh yeah.
Then we could get some international appeal too.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Because I'm not gonna lie, I would
Like
kill for a Lady Shiva show.
hell yeah, hell. It would be really cool, like something like that. I wish DC could get in touch with like Shonen Jump, and for like 1 to 2 issues, give us Goku and Superman switch worlds.
Ooh, that'd be good.
Do like a
Honestly.
partnership where we get like 2 comics, they get 2 comics, and if
Yes.
they're told like, hey, these are the characters, do what you will, but stay in these parameters, you know.
Please.
And even though they would be like, oh, Goku would just blow up the world and whatnot, it's like, well, on his world, yes, but we don't know about the DC world.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah, that's
hell,
different.
something that powerful. Like we think he could beat up a Green Lantern, but could he actually beat up the Green Lantern? Or Sinestro?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah. Or hell, what happens if he fights against like like fucking God? Oh man, I ain't gonna get some negative Superman points. Doomsday. Yeah, like let's see him fight Doomsday, or like let's see him fight like I don't want to say dark side because dark side's that might be a little too much for Goku. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, 'cause that's literally a god. Like, not like Beerus god,
Yeah,
like actual god.
yeah.
Uh,
And then imagine like Superman like going into their world and of course he might have a good easier time or not. We don't know. It's different universes, but like, could you imagine him like going through like a tournament arc? It's like they're like, all right, like it'd be kind of funny. What would happen would be like they would somehow get like teleported like midterm. It's like, all right, next up is Goku, and they turn out and they look over, and somehow Goku teleports, and then like somehow Superman's kind of like, where am I?
it's like next thing you know, he's about to fight Jiren or somebody. And it's
Yeah,
like
or he,
completely annihilates him.
either that or he fights Hit. That'd be kind of cool
Whoa,
too,
yes,
because he's
honestly.
got time distortion.
Oh yeah.
And the thing is, like, Goku's like in another world. I mean, Superman's in another world, so he's just still trying to find his bearings. So this is why this could be a reason why he's not 100% like doing what he does.
Oh yeah.
Because not only is he finding his bearings, but Superman also holds back. So it's just like, imagine that fight happening.
Whoa. Honestly, I love that.
Yeah, I wish that could happen, but then again, we're not the ones making the ideas, and we don't know the logistics or have the money to do so.
Ah, yeah, unfortunately.
But like, if it'd be cool if they gave us like 2 issues or like a 5-issue series where we get Goku and Superman switch sides, and then towards the end, like they figure out how to get them, and then they meet each other and they shake hands. It's like, hey, so it's like, hey, I've heard much about you. I'm Superman. You must be Goku. That type of stuff.
Oh yeah. Honestly, I love to see it, and because outside of seeing my two faves come together, I just think it'll kind of put like maybe not an end, but like at least like a halt to like the Superman versus Goku debate, because it's just like, man, they would get along. They're just gonna talk it out anyways. Goku might fight. He knows he's probably gonna lose, but after a while, they're just gonna be like, "Hey, you're a good guy," and that's just how it's gonna go.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm trying to think. Would we have a? It's cool to have 2 heroes, but what if we also had like 2 villains too, like switch places? Like, I'm trying to think. What if Brainiac was actually on like in Goku's world, and then like we would have like Dr. Gero or somebody in like
the world of
us.
DC.
Yeah, could you imagine that shit?
Holy shit! Honestly, that'd be amazing.
Yeah. Or hell, even Lex Luthor, like Lex Luthor gets teleported, so he tries to like he tries to like take over Capsule Corp with like a coup of like a business coup.
Oh yeah, it's kind of. Oh yeah, it's like have that, or like have him like look into like the Red Ribbon Army. He's just like, I could do something with this.
Exactly.
He just uses all the androids, probably like equip them with like kryptonite beams and everything. Even though it's like not really gonna affect the heroes like that, but it's probably just be like good use for like energy blast and all that stuff.
Yeah, and what we can do is like what could happen possibly is like maybe one of the heroes is fighting the villains, and they have like a teleportation machine or something, and they're and they're trying to like escape into another world, and that's what ends up happening.
Yes. And then I know he's not villain anymore. You could also like switch out like Doomsday for Broly, and just see him like
Ooh,
wreak
yeah.
havoc in the DC world while like Doomsday's
Hell
just
yeah.
going off in like the Dragon Ball world.
Oh yeah, that would be fucking dope as hell.
Right.
That would probably be either my that would either be like the quote unquote movie the movie OVA, or that would be like the annual where it's like the 100-page annuals that they do.
Yes.
That'd be the annual issue. It's like, oh shit, dude, like Broly showed up to the DC world. Fuck.
So,
And I'm talking like Z Broly.
Damn.
Or I don't know, Super Broly be kind of cool too. I'm good with either of those.
Oh yeah, whoever's gonna go off, I'm like, yeah, I'm down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be good stuff.
Yeah. I think we kind of went crazy there.
I know, right? This is what you know how it goes. Time flies when you're having fun, right?
Oh yeah. How much time we been so far?
We've been going at like a solid hour so far, or almost an hour.
Okay. We can go just a little bit more.
Sure.
Let's see. Well, I discussed that. What about you? Is there any type of crossover thing you would like? Something like that? Like I said, Goku, Superman, swap worlds. Anything for you?
I've always, I swear, you can tell I'm getting older because as I was watching as I was growing up, I had nothing but crossover ideas. I would be obviously about my ideas was the Mask kind of having his own team with a bunch of crazy or a lot of fun over the top heroes, really just the Mask, Lobo, Harley Quinn, the Creeper. Let's see, freaking. Also would add Joe Fixit in there, Deadpool, all those guys, and just give them the joke name of the Offenders.
And of course, you would have if you're gonna have three wall breakers, you're gonna have to have you're gonna have to throw She-Hulk, and heck, you can have Ambush Bug in there too.
Oh hell yeah! Just to get some balance and everything.
That'd be hilarious. It's and for you guys at home, you can play along, and then Ambush Bug would be yeah, he would say that, and they're She-Hulk, Deadpool, Harley Quinn. He would look at him like, you can see them too.
It's yeah. It's just I'll always just love those types of characters and just see how they'd interact off of everything and just be I guess I'm not alone. You guys are crazy, but you're decent people, I guess.
That would be cool.
Oh yeah.
I just thought of something you would probably like. What if we crossed over WWE with Kinnikuman Man?
Oh shit, yeah.
Tell me about that.
It's funny you mentioned that because that's also an idea I had growing up, and I was super into wrestling, which still am, but and I had this idea of all right, you got a lot of these wrestlers from WWE, old and new, with the Kinnikuman characters, and I'd like to see how they all interact with each other, especially when some of them are kind of based on one another. There's this one character named Neptune Man, who's literally just based on Hulk Hogan, down to the looks and everything, except he's Irish. Well, Hulk Hogan himself is Irish. Hulk Hogan himself is Irish descent, while Neptune Man, he's of British descent. Well, he's British and everything. And I want to see Hulk Hogan kind of looking at a mirror of himself. He's just oh my god, he's just like me, but evil. Well, eviler. And I just had that idea for a long time. You got John Cena and Kinnikuman or his son and everything, pretty much teaming up to face one of what are they called, the fucking Chojins and everything, the evil Chojins, the evil wrestlers and all that stuff. The DMP versus the NWO and everything.
Yeah.
And then definitely
that'd be cool.
Oh yeah, definitely had characters Rey Mysterio teaming up with some of the other masked wrestlers and everything, and they just see this little guy going up against these giants, because I did a height scale, by the way, of a lot of the Kinnikuman characters. A lot of those guys are 7 feet tall up. I'm holy shit.
Holy shit.
Yeah, like a lot, like they are big. And they're able to like do like crazy ass fucking fast moves and shit. And I was just like, well, damn, that's terrifying, but that's cool. But they see like the normal guy like Rey Mysterio, whose whole like legacy is him just kind of like having this like big legacy of taking down giants like the Big Show, Great Khali, and everything. They're just like, damn, he's a normal guy doing all this stuff. And he kind of like inspires them to like keep on fighting and everything. And yeah,
Yeah.
this is what boys like.
Oh yeah, that would be awesome.
Oh yeah.
And of course, we got to do the America propaganda thing where we have I don't know Kaneki Man too well. We have the Nazi guy.
Oh yeah, Brock and Jr. and everything. Yep.
We have him fight Sergeant Slaughter.
Yes. And like typical Sergeant Slaughter fashion, he joins the bad guys. Last second. He's just like, it's like, well, you see, I was a traitor all along. For some reason in wrestling, it was always that like Sergeant Slaughter becoming like a traitor to the country afterwards. I'm like, damn, bruh, what happened?
I would also think it'd be funny. They'd like talking. He's like, wait, you're a Nazi? It's like, oh yeah, I'm a Nazi. Hope that's not a problem. And then like next scene, we would see like Sergeant Slaughter throw that man through like a wall.
Exactly. He's just like, get out of here. I'll do a lot of things for this country, but not Nazis. Yeah, that's like good stuff. And I guess my whole idea was that basically they just have like what was that? It was kind of like this one wrestling game. I think WWE All Stars, where they basically would just be like exaggerated versions of themselves, or like have exaggerated versions of like their abilities in fights and everything. They have like powers and stuff. It's like oh damn, Rey Mysterio hit him with a 619. It's like, but instead Rey Mysterio hits him with a 619. They go flying, and Rey Mysterio jumps up high from the fucking ropes and everything, and then he comes back down with a body drop, going down 10 feet in the air, and then slams right there, goes and defeats his opponent at a total like TKO or like pinfall.
Fuck yeah, that sounds awesome.
Oh yeah. That's what as the stuff I like. That's the stuff I always thought about, especially with like how Kaneki Man and the series operates and everything. With like it's wrestling, but like superpowers.
I would like to see the that gold guy. I don't know what his name is. The gold pyramid guy.
Oh yeah, Sunshine Man. Yeah.
I would love to see him, being as big as him, take on Andre the Giant.
Oh hell yeah! It's like
Clash of the Titans.
Oh yeah, because like Sunshine Man, he's like 10 feet tall, and then here comes Andre the Giant. He's just like, whoa. He's just like, whoa, this is another big boy.
Yeah, which I think he was like 8 or 9, right?
Oh yeah, Andre the Giant, he was tall. Holy shit.
Yeah. Did you see him? Do you have you ever gone back and like looked at like things compared to Andre the Giant, and then it's like you see a beer can and it's like he has it in between his index finger and his thumb.
Yeah.
And he's got his, and that's all he needs to wrap around it.
Exactly. Yeah, I remember seeing that. I was seeing Andre do that, and I'm just like, holy shit, he was huge.
Yeah. And like he would have to drink an entire 6-pack to just get a little buzzed.
Yeah.
Like not only was he kind of like his tolerance was like that, but also just the size of his body made it to where he would just absorb alcohol differently.
I remember that because like because he was just such a big guy. So like drinking for him was kind of just like he had to just go the extra mile just to be satisfied or even get drunk, like you said.
Yeah.
Man.
Like a 6-pack would be like 1 beer to him. And we're over here like like on our 3rd beers passing out. It's like, dude, please stop.
It's like
he's like, no, you wanted to drink. Come on.
Literally, no one could outdrink Andre the Giant. I was like, That's funny. That's funny.
Exactly. It is.
Oh man. Yeah, I
Uh,
like that.
uh, my dad actually met Andre the Giant.
Oh, where?
Yeah, like he met him when like he was like 9. I forget. I think
Whoa.
he might have been in San Antonio, and he actually met Andre the Giant.
Holy shit.
He said he was huge.
Oh, I bet. It was like, what was it? Closest I ever had to that was when I literally met Big Show. And then, at the time I was a kid, I meet him again, who still 7 feet tall, but I'm like 6'3" and a
Yeah.
half. So I'm kind of just looking at him like, oh damn, I can see him at his chest.
Damn.
Man, so
Oh
that
yeah.
was funny.
Oh yeah. Speaking of Big Show, you can probably tell me this. Or
Hmm.
I was always wondering,
Yeah.
did he? Why did he change the name? Was it just to get away from the identity, or was it copyright issues?
Copyright issues. A lot of like wrestlers, when they go under the name of like, certain performers, especially in WWE, they kind of like
Mhm.
copyright and have their names like changed or like, switched out every now and again. Like
Mhm.
sometimes like because like there's this one wrestler, well there is this wrestler Cody Rhodes and everything. And
Yeah.
he when he left WWE at first and everything, he just called himself the American Nightmare, Cody, because the Rhodes
Mhm.
name was something that WWE copyrighted, which was like his family's legacy. So it's like,
Dang.
they literally would just have to call him like, the American Nightmare Cody for a while until he finally got the copyright back and was able to be like, yeah, my name's Cody Rhodes. And
Nice.
sometimes and they even did that for like characters like or like guys like Rey Mysterio, because like his actual wrestling name is Rey Mysterio Jr., named after his uncle. But like because
Mhm.
WWE had the copyright name and introduced him to the world, they were just like, "Oh no, you're the Rey Mysterio, the one and only." And it was just like,
Wow.
okay, that's what happened. So
Okay, so it was copyright. That's why he went by Big Show.
yeah, pretty much a lot of it's just copyright stuff.
What was that What was it also due to the fact that they kind of merged into one company, WCW and WWF?
Yeah,
I
pretty
remember
much.
he was the Giant, and then like I, which my timelines keep you wrong. I remember
Hmm.
whenever they merged, he became the Big Show, but I don't know if it was before that even.
It was similar around that time because like I said, whenever like WWE, they kind of have this habit of like, well, not habit, but basically this thing where they just change like wrestlers like names and everything, because it's like
Hmm.
they don't want it to like associate with a previous brand or anything like that. That's why they'll
Yeah,
even
yeah.
like take certain characters' names from like a previous like wrestling show they were on. Like they had this one
Hmm.
called NXT and everything. They'll like change certain wrestlers' names to like reintroduce them. Like this one big wrestler from like Austria. His name was Walter, and a lot of people know him in the indie scene as Walter. And even when they brought him on like their like practice show or whatever they call it, NXT and everything, they called him Walter still. But once he got to the main show like SmackDown and Raw and all that stuff, he was just like, oh yeah, no, his name's not Walter, it's Gunther. It's like, what?
Wow.
It's Gunther now. It's like, oh, okay.
Well, we're just gonna change like three letters. I hope nobody notices.
Exactly.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I've always wondered about that. It's like he just kind of was like the Giant, and then randomly the Big Show, and I was like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's kind of like you kind of just got to rewrite your history after that once you're like in a different company, which is like it's par for the core. It happens sometimes, and sometimes it works out for the better. Sometimes it doesn't work out at all, and you just like I'm a go.
Yeah.
It's
I
like that
was.
sometimes.
Yeah, cause like if I was the Giant, I would like keep that as a badge of honor. I would try to use that, but I understand. I understand.
Hmm.
It's not completely up to him.
Oh yeah, and some people can keep their names if they're willing to like pay for the copyright for it, and that way they could just use it
Mm,
wherever they want. But yeah, they'll literally just change the names out every like time again. And it's like, or sometimes they'll just like even like end up changing the names entirely, where it's like or like sorry, not change names entirely, but basically cut down names because there was like one wrestler named Apollo Cruz, and they cut down his last name, and they just called him Apollo, and I'm just like, oh, okay,
Hmm.
I'll just take that name from my character then.
Exactly. You were like, you could use that cruise right there. No, no. It's like, all right, cool.
It's like cool, appreciate, thank you.
Nice, nice, nice.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, I think we might be good. I think
Mm-hmm.
what time?
That was about to be like
Yeah,
11, so we've been going on for a solid hour and a half.
yeah. I think we need to. I think we probably need to end it here so we can
All
go to
right.
bed.
All right, sure enough. Any last
All
words,
right.
Mr.
Well.
Nook?
Oh yeah. I guess the final quote unquote big question.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a second.
Drum roll, please.
I gotta get into the meditative state.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Kang.
Mm-hmm.
Kang,
Yeah.
what do you think is your
Mm-hmm.
gonna say top your good toxic trait?
Deadass, like,
Yeah.
I guess it would have to be my laziness.
Okay.
I guess to put it into perspective, mostly because this kind of came when after me and a couple of friends were like looking at our toxic traits. A lot of people got Debbie Downers. I got lazy. And I'm like,
Damn.
yeah, that makes sense because it basically broke down where it's just like you think you're not a problem, or that you're not a problem for anybody, and that everybody thinks you're cool, but really you're just a pretentious asshole who just doesn't feel need to be bothered by anything
Mhm.
or be bothered
Mhm.
with anyone else and their problems. And I'm like, yeah, at times that does kind of describe me well because I am a guy who usually just tries to mind his own business and just not really get involved. Yeah, sometimes it kind of like gets to a certain point where I'm just like thinking, yeah, I could do something about it, but I guess that's just part of my nature. I'm a go with the flow type of guy. I don't feel the need to like in you know put my input on anything unless it's like necessary, unless somebody asks me. So it's just like, I just go with the flow, which granted, my sister and my family kind of said, that's kind of like, an issue as well, which I'm not going to argue. It has kind of been like, a 50-50 thing with me. So it's just like, you know, but it did kind of like make certain things like a struggle when I was in college because I was very lax with that, especially with the work I did. And it was like, I'll
Mhm.
do it later. And the next thing it's like crunch time. I was like, oh shit. And so I'll just do most of that. But for the most part, it's mostly just kept me chill, level headed, and kind of just like, knowing that not I don't need to get involved in every fight.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that's
Eh,
kind of just how I view it.
I feel you. I feel you. And also relying on the crunch. I bet whenever you were watching that Pepper Ann episode, you were like, "Damn, she is like me for real."
Exactly.
Because she was the crunch queen.
Exactly. I was just like, man, I relate to this redhead 12-year-old. Ugh.
Let's
Gosh.
see.
How about you?
Uh, I think got a few of them, but I'll definitely say one of my worst ones is probably putting other people's happiness before my own. Is definitely a really bad one.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would probably like if you're my friend, I will
Excuse me.
hope that you're. I'm willing to sacrifice what I can to hope that you'll be happy. Like I see kind of like a lax version, a contentment. It's like happiness does not necessarily need to exist for myself, type of thing. It's like I can just be content. you know.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely probably putting other people's happiness before myself.
Damn.
No.
You know, I will say this though. For a Batman fan, you sure got that Superman complex, I see.
Oh, I know. I
Nah.
know. I gotta hold the world's weight on my shoulder.
I know. And honestly, Nook, I feel that sometimes, but I want you to know you should always be willing to put yourself first, especially when it's someone or something you really care about, you know?
Yeah, I understand that.
Oh, yeah.
And I understand, sometimes feeling like you want to be kind of like a stone sitting, not disturbing the waters. Can be good, but sometimes it is nice to make a splash. But
Exactly.
you do that on your own time, though. You be the stone that rolls with you. Don't be the stone that rolls with others.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm usually just in my little cave in the corner of the world
Hmm.
watching everybody have fun. And when they call me, I'll be there. But for now, I'll just be sitting in my
Yeah,
cave looking at
I feel ya.
mountains. Oh,
All
yeah.
right, I think we're good. Well, till next time, guys. We will be having our second special guest to come
Yes,
on,
indeed.
and I think it'll be quite the chat. I will say our chats that we kind of talked about
Mm-hmm.
might lead to a clue of who could it be. Honestly, I kind of wish they were here for these chats, especially with the toku and the wrestling.
Oh, shit, that is so true.
Nah, maybe we can bring that up once they're on.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But alright, you guys have a wonderful night.
I love you like a player
Okay?
cousin. I'm Audi 5000. Ching chomp yomp.
Yum.